Happy 2023, everyone. Be sure to visit my website, www.saraacarter.com, for my latest reporting and stories. And while you're there, don't forget to subscribe to my email list so that we can stay in touch and you won't be shadow banned. I have a big show today. Why? Because guess what? President Biden is finally heading to the border. He will be heading to the border on Sunday, and I may be there with him. So we'll see about that. We'll see if I can make it to the border in time to catch up to Biden. I don't think it should be that difficult. I really don't. And that's very important, because President Biden gave that incredible historical speech on the border just recently. We're going to be talking about that because I don't think there's ever been a worse time for President Biden. And everyone saw it and everyone heard it. And it was during that speech. We'll talk about all his fumbles and bumbles upcoming. Today, we'll also be reacting to the half-truths, the misrepresentations, the straight-up lies that the Biden administration has told you, the American people, about what is happening in our nation, what is happening on the border. We have to demand better from our leaders. I've been saying that. I'm here right now in beautiful Florida, one of the free states, I call it, here near the ocean. Mar-a-Lago, just down the street, President Trump is probably playing a round of golf while I'm doing my podcast right now. But as Americans, we finally woke up during the Trump presidency. If anything, that's what we did. We woke up and we saw what was happening in the swamp, I think better than we've ever seen it. The reality of what is going on. And I'm telling you, while I'm down here at CPAC and I'm talking to folks, so many people have said to me that, and I've talked to, recent ambassadors from overseas and other people who are here, conservatives that really want to make a difference in, the upcoming, hopefully a new presidency. But they're very, very concerned about what is happening in Washington and about the deterioration of our country and what we need to do to build that back up, to get our nation on track and to hold our leaders accountable. This is an incredibly important time. This is the beginning of 2023, and I believe in new beginnings. I really, really do. So please stay tuned. We're going to be right back with so much, and especially with that trip Biden is planning to the border. We do not want to let him skate by. This is not going to be like, I visited the border and now I can just sweep everything under the rug. You and I, the American people, are going to hold him accountable. Hey, everyone, please follow and subscribe. I'd like you to get all the links at saraacarter.com. Don't forget the A, that's SARA, Carter.com. And while you're there, sign up for our email list so that you do not get shadow banned. Folks, I talk about this company all the time. This is probably one of my true beliefs, is that we have to have someone up in Washington, D.C. to fight for us, to fight for each and every one of us. And that's what AMAC does. That's why I'm so grateful that they are a sponsor of the Sara Carter Show, the Association of Mature American Citizens. It is the fastest growing, listen to this, conservative 50-plus organization in America. But you don't need to be 50-plus to join. You can join AMAC now, and they will do the fighting for you. By the time you get to be a full-fledged member of AMAC, guess what? They will be fighting for everything that you believe in. By joining AMAC, you are taking the first steps to saving the America that you love. AMAC offers an alternative to just about every benefit that other group offers. But guess what? With no liberal agenda. I stand with AMAC. I hope that you will too. I encourage you to join today at amac.us/Carter. That's amac.us/Carter. The benefits of membership are great, but guess what, folks? The cause is even greater. And that is a fact. The cause is even greater. Join today at amac.us/Carter. So how was your Christmas and New Year's? I can tell you mine was amazing. Why? Not because I went to fancy parties. No, I did not. On New Year's, I was literally in a sweatshirt, hanging out with my kids in Park City, Utah. Yes, I did not go to any fancy parties, did not wear any fancy gowns. but I felt like I had the greatest New Year's of all. I got to spend it with my children. It's Christmas as well. So this year we tried to do something a little different. Usually all the kids come to our house. This time we went up to my stepdaughter's house in Utah, and we celebrated Christmas all together. And it was extraordinary. It was snowy. It was perfect. We had fire going. The kids were playing. They were all wearing those crazy matching pajamas, that make us such goofy, fun-loving Americans, right? And it was more than about gifts. It was about being together. And I thought, if I'm going to spend any money, I'm going to spend it, and my husband, letting the kids do fun things together. Like, we're instead of buying big gifts, let's go skiing. Let's go out and have breakfast. Let's hang out in Park City, Utah, which, by the way, is extraordinary. It's extraordinary. You can only go out there for like one meal a day, if that, with all the kids that we have and grandkids and stuff. So because it's just so expensive, right? It's just so expensive. So we did a lot of cooking at the little rental we got. We did an Airbnb, and then we spent the rest of our time skiing. And I am the worst skier. I'm like one of the worst. But I try. I went all the way. Yes, I did. I went up to two lifts up in the mountain. Okay, granted, it was green. It was a green run, right? It was, but it was like the longest run ever. I mean, Park City ski slopes. Apparently, this is the Park City skiing is the biggest ski area in all of America. And it really is, because what was normally a 30-minute run, which is a long run on a green, getting down, I'm trying to think I'm looking good. I'm going to go side to side. I'm going to do all that. Ended up being like an hour and a half for me. I was like, my poor son Alex was like, just waiting for me to finish falling down the blue run. Yeah. He was like, wow, Mom, that was just so scary. That was just really terrifying. And he was on a snowboard, so he would have to like scooch up. So he was completely exhausted after watching me just try to get down that 30-minute run. It was a sight to be seen. Thank goodness I had a helmet and big ski goggles on and the whole thing. But if you would have seen me on the bunny slopes, you would have thought I was a pro. You know what I kept thinking? I kept thinking that I was going to come off the edge. Okay, so for those of you who aren't skiers, like, I can do really great if I feel there's a wide open space. Like, I'm good. I'm not great. I'm a good. I can stay there. But once it starts narrowing down and there's a turn in the mountain, right? A turn in the mountain. Then I start panicking. I start thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to go off the edge. How far does that go? I'm just going to lose control. And when I start thinking like that, I start doing the pizza. So the pizza is when you point your skis inward and you start slowing down, and it's like, ba, 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 ba. And you look like you look like you're, as an adult, a kid looks fine. An adult doing pizza up at the top of the mountain looks like, what the hell are you doing up here? So I'm pizzaing all the way down, going really slow around the corner. I look like I have like some serious issues. And then I start thinking about it, and then I tangle my skis up in each other, and there I go down, right? What made it worse was that like literally Matthew and Benjamin, they're my stepdaughter's children. They're, like 5 years old, 7 years old. They literally swept by me at like 100 miles an hour. And they're like, see you later, Gigi. Bye. And I just felt like I was, yes. I felt like if there's anybody that should not be on this mountain, it was me. But bravery comes in all, I guess, things that we do, right? So I wanted to be brave. I did it. And I loved it. So I'm going to get better. I have a goal of becoming a much better skier, and just so I can keep up with the 5-year-olds. And I will take all the greens. I don't care how high it goes. Do not put me on a black diamond. No, that is not going to happen. Not going to happen. But I did enjoy myself. We had a great time with family. Afterwards, we all went for Mexican food. I obviously started to drink. Yes, heavily. No, I'm just joking. I didn't drink heavily. I did, though, however, have a couple of drinks. I just want to tell you that because I just felt so grateful that I survived that mountain. And I felt grateful that I have such a beautiful family. And I am grateful that Hunter Biden is not a part of them. No, I'm just kidding. It's because I'm gonna be talking about Biden right now, right? So don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. I want to get into what is happening right now on Capitol Hill. Very important. What's happening with our government in Washington, D.C., the failure of the Biden administration with regards to border policy. We have to focus on this as Americans. You know, one of the things that I thought about while I was up in the mountains with my children and, you know, thinking about the season, I mean, it really is too about Christ, about our faith in God and our faith in our nation and our faith in our families and what we want to protect. And one of the things that I thought about was the fact that we just can't this year, we can't be a silent majority. And I know I have been hammering that on everyone every time I do the podcast, but we cannot be silent. We have to defend our nation. We have to defend our families. We have so much to fight for, so much to stand up for. And none of us should ever be forced into silence, not when we're speaking about what's right, not when we're speaking about what's true. And we have a lot to be grateful for. And if there was anything I learned this last month and at the start of the new year, is that I have a lot to be grateful for. And I'm not going to give that up. I'm going to fight for that. I'm going to fight for my country. And so that starts by educating ourselves, by knowing what's going on. And I am going to be back in a few minutes to educate you on why the Biden administration is failing to protect you and your family. And don't buy the lies. Don't buy the lies. We're going to dissect Biden's crazy speech. Historical, because it was probably the worst speech any president has ever given in the history of the United States. I'm positive of that. And why the Biden administration is failing to protect you and your family and our nation from what is happening at the southern border. Don't go anywhere. Okay, folks, who do we love? We love Mike Lindell. We love MyPillow. Why? Because it's an American company that cares about you, cares about giving back to our nation. And why? Because they have American products that we can trust and rely on. I want you to shop the New Year's specials event for Giza Dream Sheets as low, listen to this, as $29.98. You are not going to get that anywhere. I love what Mike does with his company. I love how many products he has now. And I want you to shop the New Year's specials at mypillow.com and use promo code Carter to get the huge discounts. Listen to this, on all MyPillow bedding products. You won't find this anywhere else, including blankets, pillows, so much more, comforters, and get the Giza Dream bed sheets for as low as $29.98 while quantities last, because this is only while the quantities last. Stock up now at mypillow.com and use the promo code Carter, C-A-R-T-E-R, that's C-A-R-T-E-R, for the New Year's specials. mypillow.com, promo code Carter. We're going to be breaking down Biden's border speech. I know you all been on the edge of your seats waiting for this. And there are three major takeaways. Biden does not comprehend the severity of the drug crisis. That is a major fact. He never has. His administration never will. And I don't think they even care. Here, Biden is showing off the amount of fentanyl that the Border Patrol has seized. Listen to this.
For example, since August of last year, Custom and Border Patrol have seized more than 20,000 pounds of deadly fentanyl. That's enough to kill
Vice President Harris is like losing her shit.
20,000 pounds of fentanyl. It's a killer. It's a flat
okay.
killer.
I don't even know what he was saying there. None of it made sense. You could tell that they They purposefully want him to fall on his face. I totally believe this. And I could see Kamala Harris in the background just counting the days till she's actually President Harris, right? She's like, oh shit, he's going to go down now. Okay, let me explain something to you. That amount of fentanyl could literally kill way more people than 1,000. First off, it's just insanity what this man is saying. That is a tiny percentage of the total fentanyl that comes across the border each month. So that made no sense at all. That is totally inaccurate. It is a flat out lie. It is disinformation coming right out of the mouth of the president of these United States. He doesn't even mention China. China, the Chinese Communist Party, is well aware that they are sending precursor chemicals into Mexico that are being used by the drug cartels to manufacture these counterfeit fentanyl pills that are killing Americans. And they are counterfeit pills. It's not like people are going out and shooting up fentanyl all the time. These are pills that actually look like Percocet, Oxycodone, Adderall, whatever. Who knows? They'll probably even end up looking like Motrin soon. They could do whatever they want with a pill press. And they are literally poisoning Americans. In 2021, over 107,000 people, over 60%, 107,000 overdoses, over 60% due to fentanyl. I want you to think about that. Biden clearly, and here's number 2, he clearly misunderstands the reason people are coming here. And not only that, he mocks the journey to the United States. He mocks it. He also credits Vice President and the unborders czar, the one that was appointed to do something about this, Kamala Harris, for getting funding for investments in South America. Take a listen to this.
Most people would much rather stay in the country they are if they can feed their families, be safe, send their kids to school, and have opportunity. It's not like people, you've heard me say it before, it's not like people are sitting around a table and somewhere in Central America and say, I got a great idea. Let's sell everything we have. Let's give it to a coyote, a smuggler. They'll take us on a harrowing journey for thousands of miles to get to the United States. Then we're going to legally cross the border. They're going to drop us in the desert, and we're faced where we don't speak the language. Won't that be fun? I'm not being facetious. Well, President Harris led this effort to make things better.
She led the effort to bring them here illegally.
They are leaving. And thanks to her leadership, she's been able to generate more than $3.2 billion from the private sector to create jobs and opportunities in El Salvador, Honduras, and Guatemala.
Look, do we need better foreign policy and immigration policy between the United States and our neighbors? Yeah, of course. Everybody knows that. But he is not telling you the truth. He is lying to you. He has a complete misunderstanding of why people are being trafficked here. He is literally asking our federal agents to aid and abet the drug traffickers and the human traffickers. There is a complete disconnect. And yes, President Biden, they are being trafficked into the United States. Some of these children are losing their lives on that journey because you have left that border wide open. And by the way, a lot of people believe that you're doing that and your administration is doing that to fill in the gaps, to keep voter rolls, to bring people into this country that will be reliant on the government that you think will be dependent on the Democratic Party. I don't necessarily know if that's true. I think that if we start to follow the money, we're going to see a lot of money from USAID, money from the UN, money from the United States, ending up in the pockets of NGOs and friends that are pretending to assist the migrants or who are barely assisting the migrants and utilizing their NGOs to line their pockets and build their own wealth. They don't care about you. They do not care about me. They don't care about our children. And they certainly don't care about the migrants being trafficked. Tell that to the children that are being raped. Tell that to the children and the women that are losing their lives on this journey. Tell that to the people who end up in the United States. And I just love the way he mocked it and didn't even understand it at all, and end up in slave labor here in the United States, in slavery, in servitude. in the modern age, here in America, in what is supposed to be the land of the free and the home of the brave. People living in the shadows. And companies, by the way, that are hiring illegals for cheap labor. People should not be living in the shadows. That border should be shut down. That border should be off limits. Off limits. And there are ways to do this. Our enemies are taking advantage of that border. Our adversaries know full well the chaos that is happening at the southern border. And I'm going to be there. And I'm going to be there. And the president is expected to be there this Sunday. I'm definitely going to be there Monday and Tuesday. And that's going to be a big show too. Because we're going to be there with some senators, and well, I am at least, and I'm bringing a victim of human trafficking from Mexico to the United States to visit these US senators, to explain to them what she went through as a child, what she went through as a victim of human trafficking. And I have some others who will be joining us as well. I have another guest that'll be coming with me. She is part of the Dark Wars, the border series that we've been working on here, one that exposes the real criminality of what is happening at our border. And it's Rosie Orozco. She is amazing. She is a fighter against human trafficking, against human slavery in the modern day age. She'll be with me and the senators at the border. And I think it's important that we expose what is going on. And remember, folks, what President Biden is saying to you is not only a lie. It's not only a lie, but it's harmful. It's harmful. It's harmful to you. It's harmful to your families and to your children, because that lie makes you believe that there really isn't a problem there. When the border is no longer a border, the border is inside, and people have been saying this now over and over again. But the border is all the way. Every problem at the border is in every single state in our union. Those cartels are delivering narcotics that are killing our children. They are trafficking children throughout all of our states. These cartels literally own territory in our own country, and they distribute these narcotics like a Walmart. They have a distribution system that is incredible. And we have to try to stay ahead of them, and we can't. And we have the government lying to us about everything that is happening at that border. So we need to hold them accountable. And this has to be the year that we hold them accountable. And a lot of people that are trafficked into the United States are trafficked against their will. Some children lose their lives in the horrific organ trafficking trade. I want you to think about that. Some children who are trafficked by these cartels are not even into the United States yet when they kill them, and then they utilize them for organ harvesting. That is a fact. Our government is lying to you. Do not let them do that. And I want to say one more thing. Alejandro Mayorkas is one of the biggest liars, and he should no longer be head of the Department of Homeland Security. He should be completely removed immediately, because he claimed earlier today that the border is not open. He is a complete liar and a shill for the Biden administration, and anyone who at least listens to me, at least watches maybe even Fox News right now, especially Fox News, which is one of the few places. I think MSNBC is now talking about it a little bit, and maybe CNN is talking about it a little bit because they can't hide it any longer. And I know regular NBC has talked about it a little. The border is wide open. It's wide open, and they all know it, and they're lying to you. They're lying to you. And there's no way that this is a problem that Trump started. Trump shut down that border. Don't believe that lie either. This has nothing to do with Republicans. This has everything to do with Biden's open door policy. He invited them in. That is what he did. I want you to take a listen to this clip.
Let me be clear. Title 42 or not, the border is not open. We will continue to fully enforce our immigration laws in a safe,
liar,
orderly, and humane manner.
He is a liar. It's beyond lies. This is beyond lies. Do not believe it. Do not believe it. Biden doesn't even bother mentioning, and by the way, Alejandro Mayorkas, who said the border is not open, I mean, I just don't know how he wakes up every morning. And I would hope that the parents that I talk to every day, parents that have lost their children, will go and protest in front of the DHS building. That's what they should do. And in fact, you know what? I'm going to talk to some of my friends about that, about doing that, about holding a protest in front of the Department of Homeland Security, because to expose Alejandro Mayorkas' lie and force him out. That's probably the best thing that we could do. And as all Americans, any of you who have children, you should join us when we get this going. We should. I'm going to take the initiative and I'm going to go to the DHS with parents who have lost their children, and we are going to hold Alejandro Mayorkas accountable for his lies. We're going to hold him accountable. Biden doesn't even mention, by the way, that member Tillis and Sinema bill included amnesty, an issue that Democrats don't support. I don't even understand how that happened here, like how they think that we're not even going to understand what's going on here. Biden doesn't even mention that the Tillis-Sinema bill included amnesty. It's an issue that many Democrats also don't support, because you want me to tell you what happens? What happens when you offer amnesty? It opens the border even further. It sends a message across the world that every time you cross into the United States illegally, the U.S. is going to cave in and give you citizenship. Why even try to do it the right way? I'm telling you, that's exactly what's going through the mind of people that are coming to this country. I've actually had people who are in the process of applying legally say maybe we should just come over illegally. I, of course, say absolutely not. Don't do that. You don't want to live in the shadows, because nobody knows what's going to happen. And because it's the wrong thing to do. It's a criminal act. But that's exactly what they are lying and hiding from you. They are not telling you the truth. They are not telling you what is really, really happening in our country. And because of that, more people are going to die. And because of that, the American people are going to be at risk. And because of that, our children are going to be at risk. Folks, do not buy the lie. Hold the Biden administration accountable. And more importantly, hold our lawmakers accountable for the lies that they tell you. I'll be right back. Folks, I don't know if you've been watching what's going on with the speaker's nomination and how it's not happening and how McCarthy is like struggling. But Representative Cori Bush is now accusing Republicans of using, when they nominated Byron Donalds to speaker, when that happened, when Chip Roy nominated him, as a black prop. Cori Bush, you're the only one. I didn't even think of that. And this is something that most Americans probably wouldn't even think of, because most Americans are not racist. I just think of him as a person, not as a black prop. Let me read this to you. Cori Bush blasted Republicans on Wednesday for claiming to advance racial equality amid their infighting in the House of Representatives, saying that they were using her fellow black lawmaker, Representative Byron Donalds, as a prop. Listen to this.
Your Democrat colleague, Cori Bush, attacked you online. In a tweet, she calls you a prop for upholding white supremacy. I'd like you to take this opportunity to respond to that, sir.
Well, I mean, first of all, I thought it was just blatantly outrageous. First, man, that sucked, man. To be honest with you, man, I'm sorry. I feel, bad that she really put that out there, because, if you see a black man rising, let the man rise, even if you don't agree with him. Specifically to my policies, I would argue that she should sit down and debate me one-on-one. And let's do that. Stu, we could do it on your program. We could do it on CNN. We could do it on MSNBC. I'm open to all of that. But to throw a statement out there, I thought was just the complete wrong thing to do. As a black man to a black woman, I would have never done that to her. It's a shame that she did it to me.
It is a shame. It's absolutely disgusting. But you always know you win the argument when people go to racism. When that's like the first response back, right? When they try to throw the race card in there. Byron Donalds is awesome. He is a Florida congressman. He's got the right idea of the direction that our nation needs to be in. He is a completely experienced leader. And Cori Bush, she is someone that has done this before. She has thrown out these type of allegations, throws out the race card every time she doesn't get her way. And this is the issue that we have, that the Democrats continually say that it's Republicans. They continually throw out this race card no matter what Republicans do. But it's really the Democrats' policies that are racist. It's the Democrats themselves. It's their policies, right? Their policies that keep people from aspiring to do what they need to do, to be themselves, to be independent of the government. It doesn't matter what color your skin is. It doesn't matter how poor you are or what you do for a living, whether you work in a factory or whether you work, on Wall Street. What matters is that you work and that everybody has a different place in society, right? It was kind of like when President Bush said, we're going back to the immigrants, doing the jobs that Americans won't do. What are you talking about? What are you talking about, President Bush, way back when? It's that same mindset, right? Treating people differently because of the way they are on the outside or who they are. Every American has had to struggle one time or another, whether it was your great-great-grandfather or your great-great-grandmother or an aunt or an uncle or something. It didn't matter if they were from Cuba, like my mom, or if they were black, or if they were from Japan, or if they were from China. Everybody has faced something. But Byron Donald being nominated to Speaker has nothing to do with race. Has nothing to do with race. It has to do with the fact that he is qualified to be the Speaker and that people respect him. And I would love to see Cori Bush in a debate with Byron Donald. I would love that. That would be awesome because I think he would clean house with her. I don't think she would ever take that offer. I think he would just clean up. He would clean it up. She would be gone. It would be over. It's all fine to throw out accusations, but stand by them. Cori Bush, stand by those accusations. Go live, debate Byron Donald live on that. And then we'll talk. Show the American people why you think that. Because I think her statement was racist. Because she's basically saying that Byron Donald isn't qualified to be Speaker because of the color of his skin. Because the only reason he would be qualified is because they're using him because he is black. And that, my friends, is wrong. And that, my friends, is a lie. And that is the reason why so many people, regardless of the color of their skin, have moved towards the conservative party. We've seen it in the black community. We've seen it in the Latino community, especially out in Texas. I'm watching it happen every single day because people actually need to believe in themselves, not the government. They need to believe that they can make the difference in their lives, that hard work and that fortitude is a part of what we all are endowed with in this nation. And that it doesn't matter what color of skin we are. It doesn't matter if we're a man or a woman. It doesn't matter if we're gay or if we're straight. If we work hard enough, if we believe in ourselves, we can be anything. And that is all about the new year. And that's all about me and you. And I'm sorry if you're watching this on YouTube and it's bouncy. It's because I'm in a hotel room here in Florida. And look, hard work. I got to go right now on stage. And I am just grateful to God that I could be with you here today. And I will be back next week with so much more. Remember, I'll be at the border. You be there with me. We're going to expose these liars. And Alejandro Mayorkas, watch out, because I think I'm coming to see you at the Department of Homeland Security in Washington, D.C. very, very soon. Talk about lies. That border is wide open. Don't believe a word Alejandro Mayorkas says or the Biden administration. Thank you so much for being a part of the Sara Carter Show. Folks, remember, you can follow me on Twitter at Sara Carter DC, on Instagram at SCarterDC, and on Truth at Sara Carter DC. God bless you. God bless our great nation. And folks, God bless the great state of Texas.